Rockets. This week we're talking about what comes from trees. And sometimes the things that come from trees are edible. For humans, we can eat them. So sometimes it's food that comes from trees, and sometimes it's other things like flowers, leaves, seeds, and nuts. And sometimes the things that come from trees are a nut called an acorn. And sometimes that acorn hits a silly hen on top of the head. And that is the book that we're going to read today. It is Henny Penny by Paul Galdone. We're going to read this story, Henny Penny, to find out what happens when an acorn falls out of an oak tree and hits Henny Penny on the head. Now you might be taking a look at Henny Penny's face and already figuring something out about her. You might be able to tell what she's doing here. We're going to open up the book to find out exactly what it is. Let's get started. This is Henny Penny. One day when Henny Penny was scratching among the leaves, maybe she was scratching down there looking for some worms to eat or something, an acorn fell out of a tree and struck her on the head. What does it look like she's doing or saying? Ah! And it struck her on the back of the head. So did she see that it was an acorn? No, she didn't. It hit the back of her head. So she must be pretty surprised or startled, maybe even a little scared. Goodness gracious me, said Henny Penny. The sky is falling. I must go and tell the king. Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this for a second. If something hit you on the back of the head, something small, while you were underneath a tree, would you think that the sky was falling? Does that make any sense? Can the sky fall? Absolutely not. Henny Penny didn't stop to look around to see what hit her. She didn't stop to think about what makes sense. Henny Penny is a kind of silly hen. She does not stop to think about what makes sense. And I have to say, she's a bit dramatic. She assumed that the very worst thing was happening and right away decided she needed to go tell the king. Let's see what's going to happen to her. So she went along and she went along and she went along until she met Cocky Locky. Did you notice they both have rhyming names? Henny, Penny, Cocky Locky. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Where are you going, Henny Penny? Asked Cocky Locky. Oh, said Henny Penny, the sky is falling and I am going to tell the king. I wonder what Cocky Locky is going to say back. If somebody told me that the sky was falling, I might say, hold on a minute. Let's think about this. That doesn't make any sense. The sky cannot fall. Or are you sure? Let's see what Cocky Locky is going to say. Maybe he'll stop Henny Penny. May I go with you, Henny Penny? Asked Cocky Locky. Oh no, I think maybe Cocky Locky is a bit of a silly bird too. He not only didn't stop his friend, he also didn't stop to think and go, does that make sense that the sky is falling? He didn't ask Henny Penny, what do you mean the sky is falling? Tell me more. He just said, may I go with you? And she says, yes, indeed. So Henny Penny and Cocky Locky went off to tell the king that the sky was falling. They went along and they went along and they went along until they met Ducky Lucky. Another rhyming name. Quack, quack, quack. Where are you going, Henny Penny and Cocky Locky? Asked Ducky Lucky. What are they going to say to him? Oh, we're going to tell the king that the sky is falling, said Henny Penny and Cocky Locky. Now let's see. Maybe Ducky Lucky isn't such a silly bird. Maybe he's going to stop his friends and say, hold on a second, let's think about this. May I go with you, said Ducky Lucky. Oh no, I'm noticing a pattern here. Every time they tell someone that the sky is falling, they ask if they can go. Yes, indeed, said Henny Penny and Cocky Locky, and they always respond that way. So Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, and Ducky Lucky went off to tell the king that the sky was falling. They went along and they went along and they went along until they met Goosey Lucy. Honk, honk, honk! Where are you going, Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, and Ducky Lucky? Asked Goosey Lucy. Oh, we are going to tell the king that the sky is falling. Are you getting the hang of this already? Said Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, and Ducky Lucky. And now I bet you can guess what Goosey Lucy's going to say back. May I go with you? Asked Goosey Lucy. Yes, indeed, said Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, and Ducky Lucky. So Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, and Goosey Lucy went off to tell the king that the sky was falling. Now we have 4 silly birds on their way to tell the king something that does not make any sense. They went along and they went along and they went along until they met Turkey Lurkey. Gobble, 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 said Turkey Lurkey. Where are you going? Can you say their names with me? Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, and Goosey Lucy. What did they say back to him? Oh, we're going to tell the king that the sky is falling, said Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, and Goosey Lucy. I bet you can imagine what Turkey Lurkey is going to say back. May I go with you? Asked Turkey Lurkey. Yes, indeed, said, can you say their names with me? Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, and Goosey Lucy. So Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Lucy, and Turkey Lurkey went off to tell the king that the sky was falling. What do you think will happen next? Maybe they'll bump into another friend who will want to come? Another friend who is a silly bird just like them? Let's see. They went along and they went along and they went along until they met Foxy Loxy. Where are you going, Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Lucy, and Turkey Lurkey? Asked Foxy Loxy. Oh, we're going to tell the king that the sky is falling, said Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Lucy, and Turkey Lurkey. Now wait a minute. They did bump into someone else. But this someone is quite different. First of all, he's not a bird. He's not a bird at all. He doesn't have a beak. He doesn't have feathers. Wait a minute. He's very different from birds. He's a fox. And what do we know about foxes in stories? Sometimes they're tricky. I know that foxes actually like to eat birds. I'm a little worried for Henny Penny and her friends. Hopefully this is a nice fox. Let's see what happens next. Maybe he's going to ask to come along with them, like everybody else. He's pretty different from them, but let's see. Aha, said Foxy Loxy, but this isn't the way to the king. Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Lucy, and Turkey Lurkey. Come with me and I'll show you a shortcut to the king's palace. Well, this is different. So far, everyone has asked if they could come. But Foxy Loxy says, come with me and I'll show you a quicker way to get there. Wait a minute. Take a look at Foxy Loxy's face. If you were Henny Penny and her friends, would you go with Foxy Loxy? His tongue is out. I'm worried that that means he's hungry. I think Henny Penny and her friends, They should say, no thank you, we don't want to follow you. We're gonna go the way that we know to get to the king. That's what makes sense, right? Surely they're gonna stop and think, foxes like to eat us. We shouldn't go with the fox. Let's see. Oh, good, said Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Loosey, and Turkey Lurkey. Wait a minute. The fox says, let me show you a shortcut, and they all say, good. And they followed him until they reached Foxy Loxy's cave. Oh no, these silly birds didn't stop to think about what makes sense again. And they go with the fox. In they all went after Foxy Loxy. And from that day to this, Turkey Lurkey, Goosey Loosey, Ducky Lucky, Cocky Locky, and Henny Penny have never been seen again. And the king has never been told that the sky is falling. So the silly birds were never seen again after they went into Foxy Loxy's cave. What do you think happened to them? I think that Foxy Loxy was a tricky fox after all. Let's see if we were right. The king has never been told the sky was falling because the birds didn't make it there. But Foxy Loxy and Mrs. Foxy Loxy and their 7 little foxes still remember the fine feast they had that day. A feast is a really big meal. What was their meal? Henny Penny and her friends. Oh no, Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Loosey, and Turkey Lurkey. I wish they had stopped to think about what made sense. I wish that Henny Penny had stopped to look around to see what hit her on the head. Of course the sky was not falling. That's so silly. And I wish that they had stopped and thought, is it a good idea to go with a fox into his cave? No way, foxes like to eat birds. Oh, Henny Penny and her friends were so silly. And in the end, it was a bit of a sad ending for them, but a really happy ending for that tricky fox. So if ever you see a fox in a story, remember that sometimes they are tricksters and they have a trick up their sleeves. They're not always telling the truth when they say things like, come with me, I'll show you a shortcut. And Henny Penny got tricked. Well, even though it's a bit of a sad ending for Henny Penny, I still really like this story. It's fun to retell and act out. And the more you listen to this story, the more you read it, the better you'll know it. So feel free to watch this video again and again. And when you feel like you know the story really well, maybe you can act it out with your family or for your friends. If you want to send us a recording of you acting out or retelling the story, we'd love to see it. I'll see you for our next activity. Bye, Rockets.